Loaded Tesseract board review. In this review, I'm going to break down the Tesseract and all the different types of Tesseract. I'm going to tell you what I think it's good for, what I like to use it for, and whether or not this board is right for you. So starting off, I'm just going to jump right into the features of this deck. This deck has two wheelbase options, so you can mount the trucks narrow, or you can mount them further apart depending on your preference. Right now I have it set up on the most narrow setup. That's what I recommend you setting up, because when you bring the trucks in further closer, it's closer to your feet, so you're getting the most downward force on the trucks, and that way it'll match up the wheels to the wheel flares as much as possible. So speaking of wheel flares, this deck has bumps that come up over on the edge, all four spots, right where the wheels are, to give you more wheel clearance, as well as to give you a reference point for your feet. It's also got W concave running down the middle, and W concave is basically just a bump that sticks up out of the grip, out of the skateboard. And what that does is it pushes a little bump into the arch of your foot. So it gives you an extra contact point, and also the W concave kind of mellows out as you get to near the trucks here and here. So it's kind of like a bump for your arch here, and the wheel flares are pockets here. So you really do feel locked in with this setup. And I'll show you how I stand on this board at the end of the video. It's also got rocker, which means that it's kind of shaped like a banana, if you can see. It's tall here, and then it dips down, and then it's low, and then it scoops up again. So your back foot is pushing down, but it's also pushing horizontally. And your front foot is pushing down, but it's also pushing horizontally. So your feet are pushed down and outwards a little bit. So it really cradles you and kind of hugs your feet a little bit. So all those features combined make for a really locked in feel. Also, if you can see here, the grip tape kind of hangs over a little bit on the skateboard here. So when you're doing a toe side drift, you can hang your toe over like this a little bit, and you still get grip tape on the bottom of your feet. So that's basically all the features of this board. Oh yeah, and it's also got texture on the bottom, which is just cool. I guess it adds vibration dampening. And it's also got a kicktail. This is the cantileted Tesseract. Okay, the original one looked just like this, except it was a symmetrical kicktail on both sides. This is the cantileted Tesseract. It's a single kick. And then there's the truncated Tesseract, which is no kicktail. Personally, if you're a beginner, I would recommend just getting the original Tesseract. It's a directional. You can ride it both ways. You can ride it forward, backward. It's symmetrical. You won't be able to tell the difference, and it'll ride the same. And that way, if your wheels start wearing down on one side, you just flip the board over and start wearing down the wheels on the other side. I decided to get the cantileted Tesseract just because I like the directional look of a longboard, and I still like having the function of a kicktail. And yeah, this board's really great. It's bamboo with, I believe, either plexiglass or carbon fiber. But it's got a very mild, damp flex. It's still stiff enough and very rigid to where you could take it up to 30 or 40 miles an hour, probably even faster than that if you wanted to. So it's definitely stiff enough, but when you jump onto the board directly into the middle, it gives a little bit of a flex, and it makes it a little bit better on rough roads. And the flex adds a little bit of vibration dampening, which is really nice. So what would I recommend you do on your Tesseract? I think it's ideal for free riding, just because of all the features right in these 2 foot platforms here where my hands are. There's just so many features that come together under your feet, and it just feels really good, makes you feel really locked in. Honestly, because of the kicktail, you could freestyle this deck. If you're looking into getting into freestyle, I recommend something smaller and lighter, but this is still great for that. It's great for technical free ride. It's great for downhill. I wouldn't race on this board. I would get something a little bit stiffer, probably, but it definitely is stiff enough to race. I would just get a dedicated race board. If you're going to be doing that, you don't need anything with a kicktail for racing. This board's great for free riding, great for slides. I'd recommend it for free riding, like I said. What else could I talk to you about this board? It comes with a little cutout here, little design. Comes with a cool design on the bottom. And the rocker does travel through the wheelbase options. So if you, let's say you buy 42-degree trucks, it'll feel like 45-degree trucks with this setup. So it'll add about 2 or 3 degrees, which shouldn't make too much of a difference, but it's just something to think about. It's definitely a great board. You can definitely push and carve around on it as well. It's not really meant for that. It's kind of high off the ground. It's a top mount, but it definitely works great for carving and for long distance pushing if you wanted to do that. But just the way the W concave hits your arch and the wheel flares lock your feet in, it feels really nice. You don't need a foot stop with this. You don't need new grip tape. It just locks you in as is. So if you're looking into getting into anything downhill oriented, any type of free riding for your longboarding, it's great. I love this board. This is my favorite board. I've ridden several before. I'm mainly into free riding. That's basically all I do. I like to do slides. I've learned a lot of new slides. I've gotten a lot of progression on this board. It's a real confidence booster. It's really fun. I'm personally not a fan of W concave. I've tried other boards with W, and I think it's cumbersome. It gets in the way. But this is just very mellow W, and then the W concave actually tapers out, so it's only on the arch of your foot. When you're standing here, it's only on the arch of your foot. The outer edge of your foot doesn't even feel the W. So this is the only board that's utilized W concave that I actually like. So if you're on the fence, you're like, oh, I don't really know if I like W. I don't know if I like flares. They're very subtle, but they're still pronounced enough to where you'll feel it when you want to feel it. So there's just a lot of thought went into this board, a lot of engineering, I can tell. Really, really well done. It's going to last you way longer than an average board. Yeah, it's like $200, like twice as expensive, if not more, than a regular board. But it's definitely worth it. There's other boards on the market that are similar to this. If you're looking for a deck that's similar, but a lot cheaper, look up the Jet Sick Kick. That's a great one. It's about $60 or $70. Basically all the same features, except this one has rocker. The Jet Sick Kick doesn't have a rocker, and this one has W concave. The Jet doesn't have W concave, but I would still recommend this one over the Jet. It's a lot more fun for me. I used to like riding with my feet, or my back foot over the kicktail like this, and my front foot here, and that was fun. But just all the features on this setup, I prefer riding with my feet where my hands are like this, just in between the trucks. It's just such a good feeling under your feet. It's more comfortable to stand on this board than it is to sit down. I'm not even kidding. All right, well, that's an exaggeration. But yeah, to sum it up, just a lot of features, great feeling, great for free ride, very worth it. It's a solid company. And how would I recommend you set it up? Well, I would recommend cast Ronins for it. They give you a lot of lean and they're very stable. And then just any round lip free ride wheel of your choice. I'm riding Powell Peralta Snakes, 69 millimeter. These are phenomenal wheels. You could go with orangutan wheels, blood orange wheels, remember wheels would be great as well. Honestly, anything would work well. And I also would recommend getting a riser. I'm riding with a soft riser, 1/4 inch soft riser pad. Definitely adds to the vibration dampening. So let me go over how I stand on this board real quick. So I ride goofy, which means my right foot is forward. So I like to ride with my right foot usually about there. It's at I don't know, that's like a 30 to 20 degree angle, maybe like there. And then with my back foot, I just ride with my back foot flat and wedged up right against the trucks. So you can see the concave gets steeper right at the wheel flares here. Right here. So as you're wedging your back foot up, this part here and this part here is being pushed outwards, and then the W concave here. Let's see if you can even see that W. Oh, you can't really see it, but just take my word for it. It's got a very nice, subtle, mellow W. You feel it right in your arch. Yeah, when I used to be learning slides on older boards that I had, I would have to hang my heel off like this to do a heel side, and then I would have to hang my toe off like this to do a toe side, and then I would have to monkey toe like this. But this board makes me feel so locked in. I could just be riding like this, throw a heel side stand up, not change my stance at all, throw a toe side, heel side, toe side, heel side, just keep throwing, and I don't have to change my stance at all. I can just ride like this. It feels super comfy. Try and do a manual maybe. Throw my back foot on the kicktail like that. Yeah. And very damp flex. Very little flex in it at all, but just enough flex to add vibration dampening. Yeah, I really love it. Set up with the cast Ronins, it gives me a ton of lean, which I like. And with the snakes, it just slides forever, and it's super fun for freeride. Leave me any questions below in the comments about what other boards you're looking at, what you're curious about it, what you want to know. Be sure to like this video to support the channel. Subscribe for updates. I plan on uploading more longboard related content, as well as gaming and just like vlog style content. Be sure to comment down below any ideas you have for the channel, anything else you'd like me to cover. Let me know if you'd like me to do a review on, specifically on the Ronin trucks or on these wheels. I have plenty of other wheels that I could do a review of, but these are definitely my favorite wheels this far, the Powell Peralta Snakes. Best freeride wheels I've ever come across. And yeah, the loaded cantilevered Tesseract, great board. I recommend getting the regular Tesseract if you're new, because it's symmetrical. You can do more with it. It gives you a nose to do like nose manuals. This board, it does have enough overhang to where you could do a nose manual. You can definitely do nose tricks on it. See that nose manual? Yeah, you can definitely do nose manuals, but I don't know. I just like the directional look and the directional feel of this board, and I mainly use it for freeride, so it's fine how it is. There's so many great features. I don't know if I'll ever find a better longboard than this one for what I like to do on it. It's great. Definitely recommend trying it on the shortest wheelbase. I had it on the longer wheelbase, and that was great, but on the shorter wheelbase, it just gives you a lot more wheel clearance because it matches the wheels up to the wheel flares more. If it was on the longer wheelbase, the wheels would be all the way like over here where my hand is, and then it just wouldn't match up with the wheel flares. Like, comment, subscribe, and share with your friends if you think they'd like it.